What's good? It's your boy Big Dawg079. You already know how I do. I'm up before the sunrise. You feel me? Well, I wanted to get up today and talk about something because yesterday somebody asked me a really poignant question. They asked me, why do I think people join gangs? You know what I'm saying? And as a former gang member myself, I had to really think about it because it's something that we really don't do. You know what I'm saying? So instead of just coming off the lip with what I thought was the reasons why, I decided to write it down and just try to give it to y'all in a proper way just so people can understand some of the things I think lead to joining gangs and other things like that. So the first thing I think we need to understand is that children have a desire and a need to belong. You know what I'm saying? To be affiliated with something, because being affiliated with something adds a substance to your existence. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like kids joining baseball teams, basketball teams, cheerleading squads, and things like that. It allows them to feel a sense of belonging and affiliation. When you don't affiliate with positive things, you still have a need for affiliation. So people end up joining gangs and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Another reason that we need to pay attention to is that whatever you were deprived of in your childhood is what you will pursue in your adulthood. So if you grew up in a single parent household, whether you didn't have a mom or you didn't have a dad, and you get through that, psychologically you never really get through it. So as an adult male, you'll still be pining and yearning for that authority figure, that father figure, somebody to tell you what to do, somebody to set consequences and repercussions for your actions. If you don't find that in your household, you'll go out in the street and try to find it there. You know what I'm saying? Like most guys will join gangs. Another way that we see that is how females will get with a man that's aggressive and violent and things like that, and they interpret that behavior as love. You know what I'm saying? Because you never saw a positive example of love in your household. So you assume that the arguing and fighting and fussing that you saw your parents do is appropriate exemplification of love, and it's not. You know what I'm saying? So psychologically we gonna fill those voids at all costs. You know what I'm saying? That's why gangs and motorcycle gangs and all of that stuff is popular, because we have voids in our lives that we seek to fill psychologically. Even if we can't openly admit it verbally, psychologically we driven to seek out the things that we didn't have in our early childhood. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes it so easy for people to join gangs, because you don't stop wanting or needing what you needed as a child. You just find another way to deal with it, another way to accept it, another way to solve that problem. You feel what I'm saying? And another reason that gangs is so prevalent today, I grew up and gangs had a purpose. You know what I'm saying? If you from Chicago or wherever you from California or whatever, and we talking about Crips, Bloods, GDs, Vice Lords, Stones, BDs or whatever, every one of those organizations started with a noble premise. You know what I'm saying? To protect the community from other races that was attacking and things like that back in the early 70s and all of that, when the gangs first originally started formulating. It wasn't for violence and drug dealing. It was just to protect each other. Some of the gangs started off as baseball teams and things like that with positive influences, and was getting funded by the government and things like that. And then those funds was depleted and removed, and then that left a group of people with no way to do positive things. You know what I'm saying? So another thing, like toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is where we don't encourage children, primarily boys, to be okay with being sensitive, to be okay saying I'm sorry, to be okay not knowing, to be okay being scared. We don't allow those spaces in children's lives today, because everything that seems human, we interpret that or will communicate to somebody that that's weakness. You know what I'm saying? We teaching them to ignore kindness and decency and regard for others. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is when you don't allow people to be sensitive and human. You know what I'm saying? And that imbalance eliminate the possibility of peaceful resolutions. You know what I'm saying? So if you never grew up in an environment where it was okay to say I'm sorry, the okay to say excuse me, or anything like that, then your only response, no matter what, will be aggression, 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 regression. So we live in an environment that's almost like GTA or something. Like if you watch the news on a daily basis, it's almost like GTA. The things that go on, you know what I'm saying? Because there's no room for humanity in our environment today. So you got kids that grow up never seeing sensitivity. You listen to every song on the radio. There's never a man that's honoring his children. Don't no man love his kids. Don't no man love his kid's mother. None of that. So what, you know what I mean? So like that plays a crucial part in it, because as early as you can remember, you was listening to music. And based on the genre of music that you listen to, it will determine the type of information that you've been feeding yourself since you started listening to music. You feel me? But like a bigger question is like, how do we fix it? You know what I mean? And I read a book called The Destruction of Black Civilization, and another book called The Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. And in that book, the author has spoke with Jeff Ford of the Black Peace Stones. He spoke with Larry Hoover of the Gangster Disciples, and they both said the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They both said as long as parents are preoccupied with anything other than the betterment of their children, there will be gangs. That came from gang leaders. They saying as long as you preoccupied with your boyfriend or going to the club or looking a certain kind of way or any of that, as long as you ignore your children, as long as you negate your responsibility as a parent, there will always be gangs. Because if you fail to be a mother, your children will still seek out the nurturing that should have came from you. If you fail to be a father, your children will still seek out an authority figure and a disciplinarian in their life. You know what I'm saying? So the first line of defense is in the household, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop failing our children. Like I hear a lot of people complaining, like in Chicago right now, it's a big old outcry about the police not doing enough, the mayor not doing enough, the state's attorney not doing enough. But your children are in your household before they're ever exposed to any outside elements. So if you put the built-in defenses for the society that they live in, if you explain what those dudes are doing on the corner, if you explain what them women doing on the corner to your kids when they're really early, they will never have the curiosity to find out for themselves, because my mom already told me that's a prostitute. My dad already told me that's a gang member. But if we don't never teach our kids, how will they know? And literally, curiosity killed the cat. You know what I'm saying? So what we teach and exemplify in the household will most times determine the direction that our kids go in. So we got to be mindful what we show our kids, what we allow our kids to listen to, and everything else, who we allow our kids to associate with and everything else, because you are the first line of defense for your children and their well-being. You feel what I'm saying? Another thing is, like my grandma used to say, an idle mind is the devil's playground, you know? If you don't have nothing positive going on, if you don't have any direction in your life, you don't have nothing to look forward to, then you just an empty space for whoever come in and start filling in information in your brain. So a really, really important thing for us to do as parents is to keep our kids busy and motivated with positive things. Keep them involved in positive associations in the community. Boys and Girls Club, rec centers, take them on trips, take them to the zoo, take them to aquariums, take them to museums, take them out of the community so that they can see that the world is bigger than their neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really critical, because if your child grow up only seeing what's in his neighborhood when he open the door, he'll think that's the only thing that exists in the entire world. So expose your kids to new things as often as possible. Talk to your kids, listen to your kids more than anything else, because as parents, we'll run our mouth all day and we don't never listen to our kids. We make it seem like they don't know what they talking about, like their feelings invalid, like all of that. You know what I'm saying? Whether you feel that way or not, it's important that people feel like they're being heard. And a child is a young adult, so they deserve the same respect that you'll give any other adult in terms of listening to what they got to say and anything else. So that's really important. You know what I'm saying? Expose our kids to as much as we can so that they start off early with the realization that there's more to life than what they see in their immediate surroundings. You feel me? And I'll be the first to admit, I don't know how to undo what's been done. But I do know if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. So the first thing I would do is say, we got to change some stuff. You know what I mean? Change some stuff, for real. And change starts with you as a parent. I'm not a parent. Like, I don't have any kids. I've played a part in helping kids development in my situations like my marriage and current relationships. You know, I play a pivotal part in trying to upbring kids the proper way. I never advocate drug dealing, gang banging, none of that. I don't encourage, advocate my lifestyle for nobody else, because I wish somebody would have prevented me from going down the paths I went. You know what I mean? So, you know, just listen to your kids, be proactive in their lives, and remember that your children are a reflection of your household. So when they go to school, they go anywhere they go, they are showing the world what you are teaching them in their household. That's crucial. You know what I mean? We just had a situation here in Sheboygan where two young men got into an altercation. And at the bus stop, two young men got into an altercation. And I don't know the details of it, but I know that a young man lost his life. You know what I'm saying? They was fighting, whatever happened, and the next thing you know, the other guy pulled out a gun and shot the guy. They was both 16 years old. I cried about it. I didn't know him personally, but I cried about it because as an adult that understands the impact of my decisions now, it broke my heart to see a child going on the same path that I went on when I was 14 years old. At 14, I had shot somebody. Like, I was out there gang banging and trying to live that lifestyle, and a friend of mine was shot. And I thought that I was supposed to get revenge. I thought that I was supposed to get revenge for my friend, and if I didn't do something that, like, I was a coward or a bitch or something. But that's not reality. And it took me 24 years in prison to realize that, you know. So I feel a sadness in my heart for that kid and every other kid that's out here living that same lifestyle that I lived and so many other people live without understanding the full impact of those decisions. You know what I mean? So it's a 16-year-old kid that his family is planning a funeral right now. It's another 16-year-old kid that will probably never see the streets again. And we can look at those kids as the problem, or we can look at ourselves as parents as the problem, as adults as the problem, because they failed one another as children because somebody failed them both as adults. You know what I'm saying? So that's been this episode of Through My Eyes, man. This is a new series that I'm trying to start, trying to revamp my channel and things like that, because like right now, I don't really see music as something that's viable. It was something that I dreamed about doing when I was in prison. I kind of like fulfilled that already, but I still have a passion and a desire to reach out to the community, to my YouTube community, and be a difference maker, to add a different thought, a second opinion, something like that. So I decided to start this series Through My Eyes, just like really just giving some impact and some real thought to situations that's going on in our everyday lives. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank all of you guys for supporting the channel, for supporting me, and just being as awesome as you've been to me, because I never thought that I would be where I'm at in terms of my YouTube channel, in terms of my career, or in terms of my life. But I do understand that none of this would be possible without you guys. So if you got anything you want me to talk about, you got any input that you want to add to the things that I'm talking about, don't hesitate to drop a comment. You know what I'm saying? Share this video so that other people can hear what I'm saying, and maybe I can help somebody. We can help somebody. Maybe I can link up with some other people that's trying to make a change in the world, and we can do it together. And on that note, I got to go home, man. It's 6:46 in the morning, but I woke up out the bed because I felt like this was that important. You know what I mean? So again, thank you guys. Have a great day. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace and love. I'm out.